Dressed. Is that art? And so it got us wondering about what the boundaries were. So that's what Judson was about. And there wasn't like one path about it. There were several different paths. Somebody saw it like I did one way, another one saw it like really tough and rough, and others were sort of romantic. I come from James Waring and ballet school, American Ballet, Ruth Ballet Theatre. I love that old stuff. I love the smell of a theater, I really do. But there was this other place where anything could happen, where it was interesting to cook a meal maybe, And so that's what Judson was, a place to poke around, to see what was possible. So it was extraordinary that they gave us that opportunity. Really.
Gave people permission.
Yes.
And you could rehearse there also? Or it was always an open door?
It was amazing. At that time, for drug addicts, it was a place for them. For prostitutes, it was a place for them. For the dirty artists, it was a place for them. For the lovers, it was a place for them. For the runaway kids, it was a place for them. Judson was heaven on wheels. And I mean it, it's not even baloney. Judson was, come on in, guys. There's room for you here. There's room for everyone.
Very non-judgmental. I mean, you see this a lot even still in the attitude, the whole ethos of the congregation, all of you guys standing here, your leadership and everything.
Well, the sanctuary movement does that. It says
what?
In the sanctuary, with Robbie, in the sanctuary movement, which comes in, is basically you're not judgmental of these people.
You don't judge anything.
You don't judge these people for whatever reason
And
they're
they
doing
weren't
that.
judging either. They weren't telling you this is good, this
Yeah,
is bad.
that's right.
Yeah.
They weren't sticking with the nose up in the breeze.
Yeah.
The nose was down here like everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, and also, there's the extension of the story that you started about when Yvonne and Steve and Ruth Emerson went up to audition at the Y and were rejected. So they heard about this church. Now, it's this overall concept, and of course you see it in St. Mark's too. There have been other churches in the late 20th century that started doing things like this. They were these spaces that were not being used except maybe Sundays or whatever. But so, and Judson already had the gallery and the happenings and everything. And Al Carmines, was willing to have Yvonne and Steve and Ruth audition, or I don't know if it was a formal audition, whatever. And he said, he said, I had no idea what it was. But they were welcome.
It was Al and some church, maybe board members, who were up in the old cage room. Do you remember? It looked down on the gym.
Oh, yes,
And they were in the cage room looking at this thing that they didn't understand what it was, but they thought, well,
so what?
Why
We don't
not?
have to
Why not?
understand it,
But I think the part of it that can't be divorced from the story is Howard and Al's commitment to what, in Baptist lingo is soul competency, soul freedom, translated into no censorship.
Yes.
And that's what really distinguishes what you
Well,
see
as a matter
here.
of fact, in 1962, when the film of The Connection was banned, where was it shown? It was shown in front of that cross on the screen, in front of that huge cross, which Peter's got photographs of Howard standing there introducing the film. It was, and of course, there were other.
What was that film about?
Connection.
What was the film about?
Drug use.
The Connection is the living theater performance of
Judith Molina,
and
Julian Beck.
and of course, in that period, also they were involved with the folk singers in Washington Square and all this, you know.
The whole anti-war movement.
The whole
With
anti-war
playwrights, Irene Forness,
Yeah.
you know, was doing stuff. We're all doing stuff.
The thing is, obviously, Howard being at the top was the one who had set the tone, but Al was the
Really?
art person
Yeah.
specifically, and of course his own work was so incredible, you know, and yet it was so unlike some of the other work that was going on, because his work is very tuneful and, you know, it's not electronic
So full of
experimental
love
music.
and stuff.
But
He-
they
that
it was
song of
fabulous.
songs that he
Yes,
did.
yeah.
Ah.
And What Happened is one of my favorite shows.
Yes.
This one,
yes.
I always show
The Gertrude
slides.
Stein,
The
Larry Kornfeld
Larry-
directed it. Yvonne was in it. Bert Supri was in it.
Well, all the
Lucinda was
dancers
in
in
it.
it, yeah.
The gang was in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And what's great, excuse me, about Al is that that's not why he came to Judson. That's not why he was hired.
Yeah.
It's just that Howard was divvying up, you know, assignments. He got arts, and through the arts, at one point they asked him to play the piano, and the rest is history.
The rest is history, right.
Really?
Yeah, he just sort of fell into it and found his own.
Well, he was already
He was
musical,
very
obviously.
accomplished
Yeah,
musically,
yeah, that's
but-
right. Anyway,
But he wasn't a
generous
music
man.
director.
I wanted to just mention something because we're standing in this room here. And actually, there are going to be performances.